forever and a day. And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original film called Secret Obsession. So Secret Obsession is directed by Peter Sutherland. Sorry, I'm checking out my notes because I had a lot of notes for this movie.
You gonna be okay?
And he's done quite a few TV Christmas movies, so the feel of this film is very Hallmark. But let's get into what this film's actually about. So Secret Obsession, there's crash at the beginning, there's this accident at the beginning of the film, and the main character, protagonist, Jennifer, wakes up in a hospital surrounded by nurse and doctors and her husband.
I'm Russell,
Who's played by Mike Vogel. You probably have noticed him from, if you've seen Under the Dome series, he played the character Barbie. That's the last thing I can remember seeing him in.
Jennifer, you were in an accident.
So Jennifer, who's played by Brendan Sung, she's been in lots of TV. She does lots of voice acting as well for stuff like Robot Chicken, but you may recognize her from Disney stuff. She did Hannah Montana and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She played Tipton, I think London Tipton, so you may see her now all grown up, but yeah, that's where she's from. So
what happened?
Jennifer wakes up after a crash. Her husband's there to help her and basically takes her home to try and nurse her. She's hurt her leg. But very quickly you find out that things are not quite what they seem. And I have to say, the main theme of this film was trying to keep you guessing as to what is going on. But I don't know anybody that's going to look at this and not from almost immediately go, I know what's going on here, because it's very obvious what's happened. So if you watch this film without having even seen a trailer like I have, I knew the title was coming on, then I guessed what was happening. I've now gone back and I've watched the trailer, and yeah, it's pretty much what I guessed it was going to be. Nevertheless, putting that aside, was the film any good?
How did I get here?
It's the first time in a long while that I've kind of wanted to say, can I have my time back? If I was at the cinema, I would ask for my money back. Because the actors in this, you will have noticed from, like I've mentioned, the TV series or the TV movies they've been in. I particularly like the detective that's in this. He's from the unit. There is some talent in this film. They're kind of veterans of the TV world, but this does feel very Hallmark, and I keep saying Hallmark like it's a bad thing. I've seen some great Hallmark TV movies. This one though, it feels directed badly. There is slow pacing at the beginning. I know that you build your story up at the beginning, but it really drags. The music kind of lends itself to make this kind of thriller, supposedly a thriller, to be scarier than it is. It's often coming in way before it's even remotely has an air of something that is scary.
Russell?
When the film does eventually get going, it reveals this kind of the main arc plot like you didn't know it. It feels like we're being spoon-fed as well. They often handhold you to, hey, look, this is what's happened and this is what you didn't get just now. But by that point, I would say the majority of people understand what's happening. There was a moment where I thought it was getting really scary. I thought that we're going to hark back to one of the old classic horrors, Misery, and I thought, wow, this could be interesting. That there is a similar type of dynamic, the kind of home invasion, you rooting for the person to get out. You're rooting for the person to escape and outwit their captor. But there was at no point that I was really invested into the two main protagonists. And I don't think that's the actor's fault. I don't think the acting is great. I don't think the score is great. But I think it's the directing of the characters or the actors. And also the dialogue I thought was very weak. There isn't a lot. I was really trying hard to find something that I liked about this film. I think the detective, he was pretty good. He's probably the character that I most resonated with, and when he eventually got to the place he needed to help the story and arc and plot move along, I thought, okay, that's okay. There are a lot of tropes in this film that the characters do, and things that just magically happen to know how to pick a door. Suddenly you can take a hairpin and pick a door like it's nothing, like it's easy, and if you've ever tried, you'll know that that's not true. There are things that characters do in this that I just found unbelievable. The character motivations as well, why they made certain decisions, there's all of that is in here. And I could forgive all the tropes, even if it's a TV movie, if it felt like it had a decent pace, if the film moved along at some point, to get you to the point at the end where you're like, I feel like that whole storyline was worth my time, that by the end you're giving me something that was worthwhile. So like I said, I don't think the acting is terrible, I don't think the sound or the score or any of that is terrible, but it's just not very good. I was thinking about what to compare it to, and the best I can do is Open House, but I think Open House is better than this. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me because Open House seems to be hated, like across the board. Everybody seems to hate the film Open House. I would put that on par with this, if not worse. And I don't want to take anything away from the actors, because as I've mentioned, they've been in some great TV stuff. The detective, he's been in The Unit, he was in 24. I really like his acting. But in this, they just seem to be dragging the plot and the story. It's very slow. I was very bored. So this is the point where I need to give it a grade, but I mostly kind of just want to tell you to avoid this movie. I really did not enjoy this film. It's the first time in a long while, especially this year, that I've gone, oh, please give me my time back. Please give me my time back. Ugh. So I'm going to give this a D-. Film, I wouldn't even want to watch it on a Sunday afternoon when I'm just kind of flicking through channels and just want to lounge out and have an afternoon nap. This is not the stuff that I want to watch because it would just anger me. I feel like the premise is okay and it's an interesting premise, but just not executed well. I know some people might find this enjoyable. I did not at all. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this movie, but until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.